Drama is whack. You fool! This isn't even my final form! Hell, they fucking show necrophilia in the Ayo, the name's Wonton, and I'm gonna speedrun this intro because I fucked up and this video is 2 weeks late. This is my December manga tier list showcasing all the new mangas I found, and hopefully you'll find something to read or avoid. And anyway, let's fucking get right into this. Civilization beyond Earth. But under Earth, because everything's underground. Ha! Born as a dungeon baby, alas, our protagonist was the chosen one, the descendant of the great Naga king, and he must bring the once great civilization to its former glory. Cute monster girls? Check. Interesting premise? Check. And that's as memorable as it gets as of now. They're the typical points where the protagonist gets lucky and powers up and turns the fight around, but at least the recent chapters look to be interesting, at least from what I can tell. That being said though, I don't personally keep up to date because I'm not that invested into the story, so as of right now, I'm going to give it the B tier, but I'd like to point out that I think most other viewers will enjoy the story, and it seems to be getting better. Addicted gambling parents? Check. Parents steal all the hard-earned money? Check. Meets rich girl that he has to help save? Check. Wait. Is this Hayate the combat butler? Well, no, it's not as crazy as Hayate, nor does it have the tsundere character, but we still get a cute romance comedy. The best part, in my opinion, is the rich girl who acts like a princess in public, but becomes a total couch potato when no one's looking. It's really cute when she starts acting like a spoiled, sleepy cat next to our protagonist. I give it a B tier. I think those who enjoy the whole comedy romance will enjoy it, but don't expect a lot of chapters, and the releases are kind of slow, but still B for me. This isn't even my final form! Chinese martial arts meets Dark Souls, at least that's the vibe I get from Cursed Armor. Martial artist teleports into a husk of armor and must escape this demented world facing human extinction against other husk of armor. We get the typical manhwa, the MC fighting all the damn time, but at least this time, we have an interesting mystery of the kings that exist in the story. The art itself is very unique with its crude art style that pairs well with the Dark Souls theme. It fits very well outside of combat, and I would have rated the art higher if it wasn't for the fact that fights get really cluttered and messy when people start using their flashy bright aura that throws everything off. I find the characters themselves kind of forgettable, honestly, but my god, the side character King Roth was badass. Overall though, Cursed Armor barely edges out to the B tier for me. I see a lot of people enjoying this Dark Souls theme. Just read a doujin instead, don't read the sad excuse of a manga. I won't lie, it baited me with how badass the MC looked when he killed his own father who had literally stabbed him in the back during a house robbery. But other than those few pages, the manga just downgrades itself and becomes either sleep or fan service. You don't read this for the plot because there is none. You don't read for the action because it's extremely generic. You only come to read this if you're horny. Even then, why not just read a legit doujin instead? Hell, they fucking show necrophilia in the first few pages for mangas for teens. Like, why? For all its faults, I can't give it a straight F just because at least they do give the bare minimum for all the horny people. Everything else is trash, there's so many better options, it barely qualifies as a D, I guess. If you actually like good manga, I'd like to see more manga content, please consider subscribing. Chopping wood. Yeah, I don't know why I fucking clicked on this generic looking manhwa either. It has some of the common manhwa issues like people fucking just randomly hate the MC and his gang, and how girls flock to the MC being helpless around him. But there's actually some positives, surprisingly. The fan service looks amazing, the female characters look great, the MC actually kills people who threatens those he cares about, but more importantly, he actually acts like an adult. Fucking mind blown, I know. And somehow, this manhwa got me invested into knowing the mystery behind the protagonist's past. Honestly, there's been very few manhwas that have impressed me, but this one actually did with its art and the MC's past. And I like to know more about it, so I have to give it a B for that. Daily Life of Sachan is a cute love story between an expressionless girlfriend and a hyperactive boyfriend. It gets straight to the point, and they do actually start dating in the first few chapters. And there really isn't much more to say since chapters are extremely short and there's not many of them actually. It's a quick 5-minute read, but it's cute 5 minutes, so I give it a B. A Merry Killer. the secret double life of a part-time wife, part-time assassin, the best assassin in the world, tied to an organization that will eliminate people that the corrupt government fails to do. And while I do really enjoy the concept of the anti-hero organization, the pacing of the story and the drama is whack. Things just happen so fast and randomly that you get whiplash on what the fuck is going on. In my opinion, the art is very bland and left in the dust compared to all other manhwas that are out there. Speaking of bland, the main cast of characters aren't very interesting, whereas the most personality we're gonna get is from the side characters who really come off dramatic and as antagonists and sometimes just annoying, honestly. Overall, A Mary Killer is like a C. Love the anti-hero concept, but its story points, it's just bouncing around randomly and the random drama just doesn't hit right. Have you ever read a story about the righteous hero who did everything right and saved the world? Well, I'm not a fan, and apparently the author doesn't like it either. So instead, we get a hero whose self-righteous and morals end up causing human extinction, all because of his fucking morals. Our protagonist, the mage who was alongside the bullshit, said, "Fuck that, I'm out," and traveled back in time. He goes back in time and does the typical train hard, exploring and getting items that we see in other manhwas. And yeah, besides the premise, there really hasn't been anything unique about the entire story that comes to mind. I love the concept, the art's good, characters are good, but I can only give it the B tier. The first few chapters of Heavenly Inquisition Sword were simply amazing. The art was great, the characters are actually memorable, giving different emotions. Emotional damage! But surprisingly, it got me to tear up learning about the family situation. But in just like 4 chapters passed, so has his heartfelt story. 10 years passed and became a generic martial arts story, making everything predictable with random fights, power-ups, more random fights, and training. While there isn't anything horrendous to say, there isn't anything memorable except the fight scenes look amazing in the first few chapters. But basically, I forgot everything about this manhwa until I started writing the script. I still have hopes for the future chapters, bringing the story around, but until then, it gets a C for me. It's a forgettable story, and I hope to check back after a few months. Looking at the tier list, I'm honestly kind of surprised I didn't absolutely hate one of them. But more surprising, I didn't find a single gem, which I guess is my fault for not reading that much this month. We got a whole lot of B tier stuff, so check those out. And the only trash I would avoid is the Cursed Swords Harem life, whatever, honestly. But here's the entire list, and I guess that's it. But it's not it. Sorry for this really late video. I ended up spending a lot of time the last few weeks working on the best and worst mangas of 2022. And if you want to check that out, I'll poof somewhere on the screen, and I really appreciate it if you do check that out. And I want to mention, fingers crossed, some big changes for future content. 1. Monthly manga reviews will be getting a whole revamp with a new twist combining a lot of my favorite things, manga, fighting games, and tier lists. Wild and crazy. Hopefully I can design it well, but I hope the whole shebang works. 2. Consistent schedule. Whoa. Videos are hopefully going to come out every Friday at 1 p.m. instead of the random times you've been seeing it. And 3, I hope to be streaming again, as if it's going to be Twitch or YouTube. Hard to say, I think I'm leaning on Twitch right now, but you can follow my Twitter, find out, and maybe we can interact. Anyway, I've taken a long time for your day. I want to know what your favorite manga read this past month was, and thanks again for watching. See ya.